right, let's dive right in. Today, we're breaking down a really powerful law that every single one of us should know about, India's Consumer Protection Act. Now, this isn't just some dusty old law book. It's your practical shield. It's designed to give you a simpler, faster, and way less expensive path to justice than the traditional courts. So let's get into it.
We've all been there, haven't we? You pay your hard-earned money for a service, banking, maybe your internet, even a doctor's visit, and you just don't get what you were promised. And you're left feeling frustrated, kind of helpless. Well, that exact feeling is what this law is designed to fix. So, here's our game plan. We've broken this down into 4 simple parts. First up, we'll figure out if you're officially a consumer in the eyes of the law. Then we'll nail down what makes a service deficient. After that, we'll look at who's actually in your corner. And finally, we'll map out the exact steps you can take to get justice. Okay, let's start with the absolute basics. To even use this law, you've got to know if it applies to you. So, who exactly is a consumer? The law's definition is actually pretty straightforward. A consumer is anyone who buys something or hires a service for a consideration. Now, consideration is just a legal term for payment. Simple as that. If money changed hands, you are probably a consumer. And get this, it also covers anyone who benefits from that service, like maybe a family member using a phone you bought. But, and this is a really important but, there's a crucial distinction. The Act does not cover someone who buys goods just to resell them or for some big commercial purpose. However, and this is a huge deal, it does include you if you buy something to earn your livelihood through self-employment. Let me paint you a picture. If a huge corporation buys a fleet of 100 trucks, that's a commercial purpose. They're not covered. But if you buy one single car to use as a taxi to support your family, you are absolutely protected as a consumer. It's a key exception, and it's there specifically to protect small business owners and entrepreneurs. All right, so we know who a consumer is. The next logical question is, what kind of problems are we talking about? What exactly does this act cover? The scope here is incredibly broad. I mean, the law covers almost any paid service you can think of. We're talking banking and insurance, transport, your mobile phone provider, even housing construction and professional services from folks like lawyers or architects. The main takeaway? If you paid for it, it's likely considered a service. Now we get to the magic word deficiency. Legally, it's any fault, any imperfection, or shortcoming in the service you paid for. You know, if your bank randomly deducts money from your account or a courier service loses your package for no good reason, that's a deficiency. It's really just a failure to deliver the quality you were promised. Okay, this next part was a total game changer. Thanks to a landmark Supreme Court judgment, paid medical services were officially brought under the umbrella of this act. This was massive. It meant that for the first time, doctors and hospitals could be held accountable for negligence or poor care under this law. It was a huge step forward for patients' rights in India. So, you know you're a consumer, and you're pretty sure you have a valid complaint. Who do you turn to? Well, the Act created this really smart 2-part system to support you. And what's so revolutionary is that it's all designed to be much faster and way less expensive than slogging through the traditional court system. Now, it's really important to know the difference between these two groups. On one hand, you've got the Consumer Protection Councils. Think of them as the advisors or the coaches. Their job is to promote consumer rights and give policy advice to the government. But on the other hand, you have the disputes redressal agencies. These are the ones you'll actually go to. They're the referees. They have the judicial power to hear your case and make binding decisions. And that brings us to the action plan. This is where the rubber meets the road. If you have a complaint, where do you actually go? The system is set up like a ladder, and honestly, it's surprisingly straightforward to climb. Here it is. This is your path to justice. It's a 3-tier system. You always start at the ground floor, which is filing your complaint at the district commission. If you're not happy with their decision, you can appeal it, taking it one step up to the state commission. And if you need to, you can take it one final step higher, to the national commission. See? It's a clear, structured process. And believe it or not, the ladder doesn't even stop there. The system has this powerful final check. If a case has gone all the way to the top, to the National Commission, and you're still not satisfied with the outcome, that decision can be challenged in the highest court in the entire country, the Supreme Court of India. This just goes to show how seriously the system takes getting it right. So let's boil it all down. What do you need to remember? First, If you pay for something, you're a consumer. Second, if there's a fault in what you got, that's a deficiency. Third, there are special agencies built just to resolve these disputes. And fourth, there's a clear, three-step system ready for you to use.
At the end of the day, the real power of this act isn't just knowing that it exists. It's about actually using it. It gives you a voice, a real path forward when things go wrong. It transforms you from just a helpless customer into an empowered consumer. So the only question left is, now that you know your rights, how will you use them?